Hi everyone, let's go ahead and implement sentiment analysis application today. We are going to use a Streamlit application. Along with that, I'll be using TextBlob to identify sentiment of a text data. So here I write, I love you. And if I press on analyze, I see that the sentiment is positive. But as soon as I put it here, I hate you, sentiment becomes negative. And if I say that, hey, how do you? Thereafter, you will see there the sentiment has become here neutral. So this application now we are going to build using Streamlit. So you see here there is a Streamlit. This is very faster way. This is very fast way to build our data application. Thereafter, I'm also going to use here TextBlob. So this TextBlob is also a simplified version of text processing. There are so many features available in the TextBlob, but we are going to use only sentiment analysis from the TextBlob. So you need to make sure that you have these Streamlit and TextBlob installed. So basically you have to run their pip install Streamlit and pip install TextBlob. So here I have my application app.py. And in this, I'm just going to write that so that you can install it. So you write here pip install Streamlit. So basically, this part you need to run it into terminal. So I'm just going to open here terminal, and here you need to put. Since I have already installed Streamlit, so I probably don't need to install, but still I'm going to install it here. Thereafter, you need to run here pip install TextBlob. All right, so these two things you have to install. Once you have TextBlob and Streamlit application installed, thereafter you are ready to write the code. Let's go ahead and start replicating this particular code. So what we have here, from the Streamlit documentation, you come to here in the documentation link. In the documentation link, you will see there fundamentals. In the fundamental, you have all the main concepts about the Streamlit, how it runs. Thereafter, you will see here in the components, you will be seeing all type of the components what Streamlit uses. All right. So what we are going to see here, we are going to use here a title components. Thereafter, the text input component. Thereafter, here is a button, and these are the label, or you can say that the Streamlit.write. So the sum of these things we are going to use in our application. You need to come back here on the application. Thereafter, I'm gonna write here import Streamlit as st. Thereafter, import TextBlob. In fact, you need to write here from TextBlob, import TextBlob. So once you have imported these two libraries, then you need to write a method actually, so that you can pass a text data into the method, and thereafter you can do the sentiment prediction. So basically we will be writing a method in which we will be passing this particular text data. So what I write here, def get sentiment, and inside this I pass here text data. So it's pretty much simple. You just need to write here blob is equal to text blob, and thereafter you need to write here your text data. Then I write here sentiment is equal to blob dot sentiment dot polarity. All right. Thereafter, if sentiment is greater than 0, then in that case, we are going to write it as the positive. Thereafter, I write here elif. So basically this means this blob sentiment.polarity will give you the data between the more than 0 or less than 0, between in fact -1 to +1. Thereafter there will be sentiment equal to 0. So the sentiment 0 means there is no sentiment. That means the polarity is 0. So you have here else if statement. In that I say that if this sentiment is less than 0, in that case you need to return it as the negative sentiment. Now the third case is that when sentiment equal to 0. So that is the sentiment when this is going to be the neutral sentiment. All right, so here it becomes neutral. So now I have get sentiment method ready. Now I just need to call this method. But before that, I'm just gonna write here st.title. So I set here the title, and in that I write here sentiment analysis app. So thereafter, I'm just gonna run the sentiment analysis app. You need to make sure that you are inside this inside the directory where you can see the app.py. So I have here download sentiment app inside this, and I can see this app.py from here itself. So I can see here Streamlit. I can run Streamlit run app.py. So I just run this. It is going to execute, and now it has started on localhost 5802 port number. Since it was since previous application was already running here 8501, so it has got new port 8502. Now you will see here our previous reference application have labels here and text input here, thereafter button, but our current application do not have those things. So let's go ahead and quickly add those components here. So I write here input. So I write here input is equal to st.text input. So you see there the text area was all as well there. In the text area you will be getting, the larger, you will be getting something like this, a larger part of the text data, and you can also scroll it, something like that. But in text input you will be getting just a single line. Let's go ahead and put that text area in fact. So I put here the text area. st.text area. In this I need to give label here, so I say here enter text data. Now if you see this application which is currently running at 8502 port, you just need to click on always rerun. So once you click on always rerun, whenever you make the changes in your app.py file, it is going to take that directly. Now you see there this has this is now visible here, this text area. Thereafter I'm just gonna create a button here. So I write here button is equal to st.button, and in this I write here analyze. So basically it is going to analyze the sentiment. Now you can see here button, but nothing is happening because we have not given any text data here. Apart from that, we have also not called here get sentiment method as well. So thereafter, what you need to do here, you just simply need to call the get sentiment when this button is clicked. So you need to write here if button. So this will make sure that it will run whenever the button is clicked. All right. So you see here if button. Thereafter you again check here if input. That means there has to be some input because this cannot be null. Otherwise you can simply put here that like your text. So this is kind of the default text, but every time when you run this you have to make sure that you delete this, but that part I don't want to do that. So I just remove it from here so that this can be empty, and just to check that if it is not empty, then I'm just gonna do this one. So what I do here, if input, that means if it is not empty, only then I need to call the sentiment. So I call here sentiment is equal to get sentiment, and in that I pass here input data which I have taken from text area. Once you got the input data, thereafter you just simply need to call here st.write. So you see I have used here three functions from the Streamlit. st.title, this is going to set the title. st.text area, this is going to set the text area, and here st.button. So these three I have already called. Here the fourth one, so st.write, this is going to write any textual data whatever you provide inside this. So I write here st.write, and in that I call here the sentiment. Thereafter whatever the sentiment, returned by get sentiment, that will get printed here. And let's say if there is no input and user press the button, that's the analyze button, then what will happen? So in that case, I can display there a warning message, st.warning. In that I can say that please enter some text data. All right. Now you see that this is successfully implemented. You need to just come to this application. Do remember 8502 is our recent one and this was our reference one. In this now you can see here everything seems like fine. Now you just need to run here, I love you. Okay. So I just click on analyze. Now I see here the sentiment is positive. And if I remove everything and I click on analyze, okay, there was something actually new, the new line was there. So I click on analyze as an empty text data. So it says that please enter some text data. I say here, I hate you. It says that it is negative. I say here, hey, how are you doing? Then for this, it says that it is a neutral sentiment. You see there, this application, overall application is very simple. We have only Streamlit application and TextBlob installed on our computer. Thereafter, we implemented get sentiment. Thereafter, we wrote here the title for our application. Thereafter, we took the input from the text area. Thereafter, we put here analyze button. All right, it's pretty much simple code. Now you have your working code. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like this video and subscribe this channel. If you want me to make any video on any particular topic, please let me know. I'll try to make those videos. Thank you.